Doing a little freshen up some mineral sites. It's getting that be that time of year. They'll be start hitting it, trying to recoup from the rut. Deer run themselves down so hard.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you. I can get that half outdone real quick right now. Probably 800 yards from here, we have our cover buck over here on the roadbed. We can walk there right now and start hunting. He was here all last night.
That's
Good to meet you.
Dan Hudson.
Down there.
Nice to meet you,
I
sir.
think put a little mud on the part.
Yeah.
Stalker Jr. killed.
It got him killed. We played the cold front. And that deer,
he was a nocturnal.
that deer had been there between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning for 2 weeks until the weather changed.
It's not till after deer season where we get cold weather to come and stay. Like we'll get cold weather to come in late season, enough to make the deer want to start changing, and then it warms right back up.
These deer need the minerals stuff and protein and everything in between. So I guess you won't maybe touch on that because we're starting to, and again, they have, it's been so hot, they hadn't really transitioned over to a lot of the protein stuff, but will.
This has been the biggest year I've seen the decline in consumption based on acorns or rut activity or whatever. I mean, it always slows down a little bit, but this year, it's been crazy.
Again, they don't feel that, what I call the need to feed. That cold weather does ignite. I mean, I got to eat.
When all the acorns either get eaten or they start rotting, you can see it just as quickly change back to bait.
You know, here we are December 18th. We've been discussing weather this past fall here in the state of Georgia, here at Realtree Farms, and you guys experienced the same thing. You know, you're not but an hour away from us right here, but warm weather, deer been stressed out all this fall, high temperatures even during the November rut, type stuff. And so we find ourselves here at the farm, Tyler, you know this, it really is time to switch over and get more protein to them.
It's about that time of year. I mean, everybody's still thinking about hunting, but it's time to start thinking about the hunting for next year, and growing better trophy whitetails. And we're already milling 20%. It's mid-December. Our 20% pellet is our spring summer pellet. We have the winter stabilizer for winter time. Right now, people are starting to think about deer shedding, and some farmers are actually shedding antler. I think y'all have a couple here that y'all said are doing that. But so guys are getting ready to start up. Some guys will start up in December, January, some February, some March, but it's about that time to think about it. So the 20% pellet is just a higher protein. It actually measures out at about a 22% most of the time. We label it a 20%, and it's what we consider to be a complete ration. I mean, everybody's got their own idea of that, but it's something that's been proven for lots of years and tens of thousands of tons. So it's been a proven product, and it's got things like probiotics and prebiotics and other things we do, elevated bypass protein to make it what we consider to be a better ration. But that, and it's also time to start thinking about mineral sites. A lot of guys do mineral sites in conjunction with feed. I think we've talked about this before. We like to put our mineral sites away from feed sources. Your pellet feeders and things like that to give those deer that are not coming to feeders, just like every farm has a source of added nutrition. And plus, it's another hot spot. You get a buck roaming through your place that's never been there. He might not see the feeder, but he might see the mineral, and then he sees the feeder, then he sees your perennials and your annual plots and stuff like that, the size he likes and stays. But
How many mineral sites per acre do y'all recommend?
we get a lot of questions about that, and it's normally about one per every 50 acres.
Okay.
Of course, if you've got good heavy clay ground, I like the bag mineral. Antler Addict bag, the granular. But we also have the Antler Addict block. That's better for like sandy sites. The reason is it's a good coaching tool. It gives you 3 different options of consumption. You've got block form,
Gotcha.
You've got granular as it starts to erode, and then as it starts mixing in the soil. The mineral, just like most of our other products, we have attractants. We do. They're just attractants, like the roasted rags or 4-estrol or corn spike. But our mineral is actually a real mineral. It's not just a bag of salt. A lot of guys use that, and it's fine if you're just trying to get photos. But we like to make things that actually help and serve a purpose. And the Antler Addict Mineral is one of them.
All right, so we're going to show you all this technique. This really delicate way to put out these mineral blocks. Deer love them.
You got a certain kind of way you like to do
A
that?
certain way I like to do it. Just try to be really delicate with it.
Find the right spot.
Find the right spot, and there's just certain way people like to do it. This is how I like it. There you go.
Our deer have been so stressed this fall. You know, I mean, we talked about it. You don't live terribly far from us, but the stress level that we've had on all our deer with the warm weather, the hot temperatures, no rainfall, food plots not growing. The deer activity is just for us here at our farms anyway in the southeast been slow. Just but these deer are trying to transition over to sure enough wintertime, but the stress level has a lot to do with it about consumption of food. And we've already had some of our deer here. It is December 18th on our trail cameras, and Tyler, this, we do surveys. He and I talk cameras just about nightly, but we've already had deer shed already just from the stress side of it. So this all helps us.
And y'all know this, y'all been growing trophy whitetails forever. I've never seen a guy that was feeding right ever stop.
Yeah.
I've just never seen a guy just this ain't worth it.
Not seeing results. Yeah.
I've never seen it happen.
See results. So going back to the protein, when you make the switch from the higher carbohydrate winter stabilizer into the 20% protein, when do you typically like to make that switch?
I mean, most of our guys, if I had to answer that question with 1 month, it'd be January. I mean, that's really when it picks up. If somebody asks that question, that's what we say.
Okay.
But I mean, there's guys that might start in February. There's guys that'll start about now. But the biggest bulk of it we'll see is January. Basically antler shed to velvet shed.
You can do roasted racks in your spin cast feeder and then use it in conjunction with your mineral sites and keep those vitamins.
And I think that's good too for hitting on both the the landowner that can afford to feed the full program, but somebody like me that has a 200-acre lease, it's there's certain products that you can use that won't break the bank, and you can still get the deer some good nutrition.
And we do a block and a bag for the different types of soil also. So like that block is more for a sandier soil, so it doesn't leach down to the ground and get it past where the deer can actually use it. Now the granular is really for dirt like this it'll stay, and they'll actually create a big hole. I've got one on our place that's, a deer you can barely see their head on a trail camera because they're so far down in it.
These deer are going to need this for as quick as they can get it in them, especially with cold weather coming. So anyway, I'm like Brian, we've done good the last 2 or 3 days getting everything ready to go.